Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video episode on the Forgotten Weapons Library. I'm Ian, and today we have a two-volume set of books that we're taking a look at, but a lot shorter than last week's. They are Veteran Bringbacks by Edward Tinker. We have Volume 1 and Volume 2. These aren't so much a reference book or a historical research book. They're more of a really interesting anecdote pair of books. The idea here is that both of these are compilations of the stories accompanying firearms that were brought back from various foreign wars by primarily U.S. veterans. So it's primarily World War II, which isn't surprising. That's where most of our veteran bringback firearms have come from. But it does also include Korea and Vietnam and Iraq recently, and a few other miscellaneous conflicts. Volume 1 focuses pretty heavily on Lugers. I think in part because a lot of this was put together with the assistance of some folks on Jan Still's Luger forum. Excellent forum. Volume 2 is, I think, the more interesting of the two, really. It has a much wider variety of firearms that were involved, everything from small pocket pistols up to machine guns that were registered and brought back by veterans. So there's some neat stuff in here. Take a look and you can see what I mean. Alright, both of these books share the same basic format, style, layout, so we're going to just take a look at Volume 2 because it's my favorite of the pair. So, if we take a look inside, here's a fairly typical idea of what you'll see. In this case, a bringback Luger, and the photographs that are included in this book are generally taken from the people who either brought the guns back or purchase them from the veterans who brought them back. So the photo quality does vary a bit because they are all pictures that were provided, generally not taken specifically by the author. So in a lot of cases like this one, they've included some copies of documentation or medals or other accoutrements that went with the pistol, and some vintage photographs as well, which is interesting. So I mentioned some of the guns in here are rather unusual and interesting. This one was a 22 conversion kit for a 98K Mauser, which you don't see around all that much. Apparently the guy who brought this back found it under a bunk in a barracks in Aachen. Now some of these guns are also really cool pieces that would be really neat to have. This example of a Mauser, a little Mauser automatic pistol that was engraved, not by the factory, but by a private engraver hired by the family of the SS officer who had commissioned and carried this gun in the war. And along with it, he had a notebook and photographs and some extensive history of the war. So the fellow who brought this back apparently actually did visit the grave and spoke with the family of the officer who'd carried this. So it's just an idea of some of the interesting stories that you'll find in these two books. And here's one other. Japanese Papa Nambu, a very rare pistol today, which the fellow who brought it back bought it for a pack of Australian cigarettes in Borneo. Oh, I wish we could get deals like that still, huh? So, there you go. If you need something that makes for some interesting, not quite light reading, but just give the human side, the history of some of the specific firearms that have come back to this country after foreign wars, these are a real interesting pair of books. Like I said, if I had the choice of only getting one, I think I would get the second volume, but they are both in print. They're both available from the publisher, Simpson, and you can find Volume 1 on Amazon as well if you prefer to shop there. So we'll have both links below. Thanks for watching.